Hello and welcome to Bet Helper. This is a video preview for the games in the Carling Cup on Tuesday the 21st of September. Doesn't really seem to be too much activity going on. It's probably not the biggest of games. A lot of the games at the moment are kind of like Premiership versus non-league teams and stuff, so it's not very competitive. It's very hard to predict as a result of that, because there's no real form to go off, as teams are from different leagues. The top teams are going to be putting out their reserve teams, maybe even the youth team. At the moment I'm making this video like 2 hours before the Tottenham Arsenal game, which is like the only live game on tonight, and there's only like 1.5 million wagered, and 2 hours out, that's pretty minimal really. So it's not going to be the heights that we've seen for the Premiership games. But even still, there's still some interesting movements going on. Have a look at that Spurs Arsenal game. The handicap has changed. It was Tottenham minus quarter, now it's gone back to 0, so there's obviously been a huge support there for Arsenal at plus a quarter. They're now trading at equals, with 0 handicap being given to either side, so it's pretty neck and neck. It's kind of hard to judge, especially when the teams might be very varied. Wouldn't expect many first teamers from either side to be starting. So they still are expecting goals in Asia. The handicap there for the overs market is over 2.75, so that's obviously a bit higher than the usual market, and it's actually shortening at that stage, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that go to the over 3s before kickoff. Have a look down at the fixed odds. There's been a big move as well there. Spurs were favourites at 2.3, they're now up to 2.65. Arsenal were at 3s, they're now down to 2.65 as well, so it's kind of hard to find a clear edge there for either side at the moment. The draw has actually drifted at 3.4, which kind of goes against kind of common sense really, since that they're both neck and neck to win it, so you should expect the draw market to be that problem might actually go down as well leading up to kickoff. So have a look at Vegas, and again they're expecting goals. The over 2.5 goal mark is down to 1.6, so they are expecting goals there. It's not even close really to being an unders dominated market there. Again, we've seen that Spurs have drifted and Arsenal have shortened. They still have Spurs as favourites there, so maybe just the home advantage there winning out there in Vegas minds. Draw stayed the same at 3.3. So have a look at the exchanges. Again, similar kind of pattern here, that Spurs have drifted and Arsenal have shortened. It's actually gone completely the opposite way to Vegas. Spurs have gone from 2.42 up to 2.82. Arsenal got 3.05 down to 2.76, so they actually have Arsenal's favourites there on the exchanges. So again, it's kind of choppiness going everywhere, every which way. We've seen the equal Spurs marginal favourites, and now we've seen Arsenal marginal favourites. So again, probably a lot would depend on the team news. There could be 17-year-olds playing for either side tonight. People making their debuts for Spurs apparently. So again, it's kind of hit and miss. One side could have a great game, the other side might have a terrible game. Really, very very hard to predict. So have a look at the bookies. Again, Spurs have drifted there. They were clear favourites, now they're gone up to 2.62 from 2.3. The draw stayed flat, and Arsenal have shortened considerably. They went from 3.1 down to 2.62. So again, the bookmakers have them level pegging, so they're not really prepared to make a judgment right now. Again, the overs has shortened down to 1.65 and 1.7, and again at the bookmakers, the handicap markets have gone Spurs minus a quarter down to 0, so there's nothing to divide the teams there, and again the odds are 1.925 for both sides, so again very very tight to call. The only thing that any of these market movements seem to indicate is that it will be a tight game and that they're expecting goals basically. So having a look at some of the other games, some of these games they're not covered live, so some of them might be going in play with a lot of bookmakers, so that's something to look out for. What I like doing is basically I just bet on games that I can find some coverage of, be it video or audio, and then obviously then a lot of bookmakers will have that going in live betting, which is basically where I make most of my money from. It's like the growth market of the gambling sector, so it's the place to be. So anyway, there's two other all Premiership clashes: Sunderland versus West Ham and Stoke versus Fulham. So we'll have a look through those. I don't think there's too much importance on these ones. Looking at the exchanges, see how much money has been put on, and we'll have a look at first at the Sunderland West Ham game. Just have a look there, see how much is wagered, and that just give an idea between the game that's covered and the game that's not. So the Spurs Arsenal game had 1.5 million, and the Sunderland West Ham game, which isn't covered, has got 300,000. So again, that's hugely disproportionate for another all Premiership clash. So a lot of people are just doing it for the in-play part of it. So have a look then at Asia. Sunderland are favourites here. They've given up 0.75 of a handicap. They have drifted at that, but nothing major really. I still expect them to see them being favourites. Handicap might change, but I wouldn't really expect it, given that there's not too much money being wagered on it, so it's not going to push it too much anyway. They're expecting 2.5 goals in Asia. Was 1.97 to 1.95, so it's kind of neck and neck really, but the overs are being backed at the moment. Looking at the fixed odds, gentle movements up on all three of the options there. So again, like the weekend, we saw that people are in Asia, they're attracting people more to the fixed odds away from the Asian handicaps. So have a look at Vegas. Again, they're expecting goals. The odds are shortening that from 1.95 down to 1.85. Sunderland have shortened, they're the heavy favourites there. West Ham have drifted, and the draws actually drifted there as well. So I guess they're thinking that West Ham have only got 1 point so far this campaign in the league, so maybe they're just going to put out a kind of a reserve side just to so they're giving focus on the Premiership instead, whereas I think Sunderland might kind of go for it, seeing the cup competition that they actually could win, so they might be just going for it. So I've then look at the exchanges. Sunderland have actually drifted slightly, but nothing major. They've gone from 1.77 up to 1.81, so again they're clearly the favourites here. West Ham have shortened slightly down to 5 from 5.2. The draws actually drifted quite a bit really. It's gone from 4 up to 4.7, so I guess they're thinking that it'll be a game setting match earlier on for Sunderland, and the over 2.5 goal market is at 2, so again it's kind of 50-50 what they think there on the exchanges for the overs market. Looking at the bookies then, Sunderland are flat at 1.72, again clear favourites. The draw has drifted slightly, and West Ham has shortened slightly. It's gone from 5 down to 4.75, so they're not really expecting them to have any kind of chance really. Kind of later on we'll be going through percentages once we've got some statistical percentages to compare to the odds percentages. So again, if you don't know what I'm talking about there, have a look at some of my other videos. The Bet Helper Pro video 1 on the blog. That's start talking about percentages there, so it's a nice way of kind of building up your understanding and ideas of percentages and probabilities. So the unders and overs, they're expecting overs there. It's gone into from 1.95 down to 1.9, so it's after taking a slight edge there. And the handicap is -3/4, just like Asia, and it's actually gone up to 2s as well, just like Asia. So they're kind of sliding towards West Ham with a 3/4 goal head start, so it's something to look at. Again, we'll have a look at the money wagered on the next game, which is Stoke versus Fulham. I don't think this is going in play either really in a lot of places, but we'll have a look, see if there's much wagered. I wouldn't kind of expect similar levels to the Sunderland West Ham game. So at the moment there's actually only 66,000 wagered in that one, so again that's not going on in play in a lot of bookmakers, so that probably would put people off, but 66,000 is terrible amount of money really. Like, it should be at least $250,000 before you start looking at any sort of significance to be placed on market movements. But again, we'll have a look. Some people might be interested in it, given that it is an all-Premiership clash, and it might be on live TV somewhere around the world anyway. So again, Stoke are favourites. They started off with a minus 0.25 handicap. That has now changed to 0. So people were betting on Fulham, but at this current level with no handicap, they are really clear favourites. Might see that handicap being reinstated before kickoff if people continue to bet on Stoke. They're not really expecting goals here. The overs is 2.25, so they're not quite expecting over 2.5 goals. Having a look there at that, it's actually drifted, so that might even go down to the over 2 goal market, which is not very good news for people hoping to go in the over 2.5 goal market. Fixed odds in Asia, Stoke have drifted, Fulham have shortened slightly, and the draw has drifted. Obviously Stoke are still favourites there, but it is kind of getting a bit closer, so maybe they're seeing Fulham as good value there. Looking at Vegas then, they're not really expecting goals there either. Over 2.5 goal market is flat, but it's at 2.1, so it's they're favouring the unders there. Stoke have drifted, while Fulham have shortened, and the draw stayed flat. So again, you can see a bit of movement there towards Fulham. Stoke are still favourites, but it is kind of shortening all the time. And then have a look at the exchanges. Again, kind of similar kind of pattern here. Stoke have drifted and Fulham have shortened, so maybe they're just seeing Fulham as good value. Obviously, again, they're still showing that Stoke are the favourites, but it is kind of shortening all the time, and with not much money being wagered, that could just get easily thrown out of whack, easily kind of manipulated to look a certain way, even without the money behind it that would give extra confirmation behind the move. So then look at the unders and overs. They're not really expecting over many goals. The over 2.5 goal market is drifting, and it's now 2.34, so that's a good way off the unders. So then have a look at the bookies. Again, similar pattern, more money on Fulham, more moving away from Stoke, but again, Stoke still having the home advantage, so they're staying as favourites. The draw is actually kind of shortened slightly there, so something to watch. And the over 2.5 goal market, again, they're not expecting overs. The overs has drifted, so they're expecting the unders. And looking at the handicaps and at the bookmakers, similar move to Asia. It's gone from Stoke minus a quarter down to 0, so no one's giving or gaining an advantage there. And both teams are trading in and around the same kind of level, so it's kind of harder there to predict a win. Stoke are marginal favourites, but not by a great deal given that they are at home. So that's all the games I'm going to look at for tonight's games. There's another 3 games tomorrow that I'll be looking at. I'll be posting that video tomorrow at some stage. I've tried to kind of hold back on the time of the videos, kind of give it more towards kickoff, so it's got more of importance. Obviously, but these games, there's so little money wagered on them, and given that it is cup competition and that they're harder to predict, that I definitely won't be having any bets on tonight anyway. Just going to be enjoying the Spurs Arsenal game on TV. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed those. Have a look out for tomorrow's video as well. There'll be another video coming along the way as well for the BetHelper Pro video 2. That will be dealing with analysing a team's form to give future kind of expectations to have on a certain team against another team. There's also a poll on the blog at the moment. It's for goal of the week for last week, so I'll be going through some of the goals from last week's Champions League games and the games over the weekend. I'll be sending out an email about that anyway shortly after this video, so have a look out for that. There's something of interest there for people, I'd imagine. Can't really go into it now, but it'll be in the email. So have a look out for more videos during the week, and thanks for watching.